What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. In the previous episode, we had done a little bit of a run around, and I think it's probably going to be more or less the same here. Just a little bit of lore, talking to people, making sure that all of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, I suppose, before we go out on what looks like the final couple of missions of the game. So in the previous episode, I talked to Algernon. We hadn't finished buying everything from him just yet. Unfortunately, well, he does have new stuff. He has, so if you were wondering, he's got the Sorcerer's Robes right there, which give us willpower, charisma, and spellcasting. He has the Totem Coat, which gives us conjuring, spirit control, and spellcasting. And then what are we currently wearing? I think we're currently wearing this one right here. So we're getting +1 to charisma, +1 to spirit control. I don't really care about the spirit control, but I do care about the willpower. I may, just for ability checks, I may take that just for the extra willpower. Where will 1 spellcasting and 1 willpower put me? Let me find out. Spellcasting, that'll put me at 4 and 4. I don't think it's going to matter at this point. I think I'm too deep in with Shaman to really do anything else, so it may be a better idea just to go with the final Shaman outfit, the Totem Coat. And so there it is, our Coat of Totems. And we also forgot to put in the... At least I think I did. Did I buy it? Hold on. What in the hell? Damn it. Where did you go? I thought I bought Acid Bolt 4. Wait, I can use that now? Oh, cool. Well, let's take the Mossberg then. We'll put on the Totem Coat and see how we look. Do we look dapper? Look alright. We definitely got like a furry thing going on where we got like big fur coats. We're looking as though we're in the money for sure. Let's go ahead and buy Acid Bolt 4 then, since apparently I forgot to do so. A little bit embarrassing. But a little bit of embarrassment has never been anything too random here at the Nerd Castle. So there's Acid Bolt 4. It does 12 damage. It looks like it has already dropped it into our inventory, so we'll confirm it. And then we'll get on out of here. Now, it sort of looks like we have a hobo coat on. Speaking of which, I saw a hobo the other day. He was panhandling out of the back of a Prius, and I was like, I feel like hobos have just gotten lazier lately. Like, I really do feel as though the upper bar for quality in hoboing has completely and totally dropped off. Like, at this point, you're not even maintaining any illusions that you're homeless. You have a Prius, man. If you can afford a Prius, I know you're not homeless. But I think half the people in my town aren't actually homeless. They just panhandle for a living and then just drive back home to their house. I would almost guarantee like half of them. Let's talk to Gunari and see what he has to say. Three-Toe, I'm glad to see that you made it through the attack. Not all of mine were so lucky. Are you okay, Herr Metbach? No, I lost my niece today, but I'm doing a whole hell of a lot better than our attackers are. Those sons of bitches hit the wrong Kies. I put 6 of them on the ground personally. When I find out who they are and where they lived, he turns his head and spits. Ain't nothing gonna save those people. He shakes his head and returns his attention to you, but you didn't come to here to listen to me rage. You're after a bit of payback yourself, I'd wager. So what can I do to help you get it? I actually don't need weapons. I think I need to go get medical supplies. But we'll talk to everybody. Zach Flash, my man. That was crazy, mein friend. Bullets flying, people dropping like flies. Crazy. Old Zach had to use his magic on a few of them. See that puddle over there? He lazily points to a yellow-green stain on the cobblestones, then gives you a slow nod. Yeah, that was one of them. Attacker, thy name is Goo. It doesn't look like a blood stain. It looks more like somebody spilled his drink. He rolls his bugged-out eyes. Yeah, sure. That's what it looks like to you. If you'd had the sight, you'd know better. Anyways, what can old Zach get for you? I've got the formula for a combat stim. Can you produce something like that? Oh, you know, I'm your man. I can hook you up right now. You said you knew magic. You a street mage? Zach lets out a throaty barking laugh. Street mage? Me? Do I look like a street mage to you? He shakes his head, but his smile doesn't waver. He fishes a big bag of pills out of his back pocket and dangles it in front of your eyes. Nah, chummer, I'm not a street mage. I've got the magic in my blood and the magic in these bags, but you won't catch old Zach studying any spell books. Well, interesting. Let's talk about something else. I don't know that we have anything else really to talk about with anybody. There's the street dancer down there that we could talk to, but let's go ahead and talk to the paramedic over here, the doctor, who we get all of our supplies from, and see if we can't get ourselves tuned up a little bit better. Three-toe. Dr. Esquibel gives you a once-over and nods. I see that you made it through the attack relatively unscathed. Do you have any run-ins with the attackers? Nah, truth be told, I was in surgery when the attackers hit and they never disturbed my office. I spent the entire sorry event elbows deep in the abdomen of an elderly dwarf. His nephritic screen needed a tune-up. I need medical supplies. Ooh, platinum trauma kits. Yeah, that's the stuff right there. Let's grab a hold of anything that we can get. I don't care how much money I spend because we're almost done with the game. And I know that I got an extra kit in there on accident, but it doesn't matter. Almost said an extra kitten in there on accident. Kind of one of those humorous things. If I had an extra kitten in my bag, I would be stoked right now. I'd be like, yeah, kitten time. Let's get our kitten on. Let's see here. You know what the best thing about a kitten is? It's how they just black out. I have a supreme respect for anybody that can just clonk out like that. It means they got a clean conscience. They haven't done anything terrible in their life. I like it how a kitten will be playing, and then like 2 seconds later, it'll just be like, and just like fall over, and just be like out cold. That's hilarious to me, and I don't know why it's so funny, but it's absolutely hilarious. I'm going to take some of these better kits right here. There we go. And I think I actually might go back to Metbach and buy some grenades or something. I get the feeling, not necessarily the normal grenades, but I feel like some flashbangs or something might be really useful because it does allow me to tailor my gear before we go into a job. But they don't typically bring more than one support grenade, so I'm thinking maybe 2 or 3 support grenades might do me a little bit better. And I am in the mood to be done. So grenades do me so nicely. Let's see here. I sort of want to go back through and play a Street Samurai just to check out some of this badass armor. Consumables. We have high explosive grenades that do 20 damage. I'm going to take a couple of those. And then the Renraku flashies are the ones that I wanted to. We'll take a couple of those. Got smoke grenades, but everything else is too low tier for us. And so now that I've spent a ridiculous amount of money on stuff that we may not even get to use, let's go ahead. Oh, we haven't talked to anybody from... Yeah, we haven't talked to Beckenbauer and anybody from his organization yet. Let's see what's going on with him. Three-Cho, what a relief it is to see you alive. Samuel wraps you in an enormous hug. You should know that your generosity has saved dozens of lives. What happened? When the attackers came, we all took refuge in the Three-Toe Civic Center. Its strong walls and sturdy gate kept us all safe from harm. Had our people been on the street, and had they been in our old building, which came under fire during the attack, none of them would be alive. We owe you, Three-Toe, more now than ever. You may not look upon yourself as a hero, but to the people of the Kreuzbazar, that is what you will always be. Well, cool then. I guess it doesn't seem that option right there was the cold printed out one that he already had from before. Let's be on our way. We've got ourselves a new outfit. We've got ourselves some new shoes, some new guns, some new bombs. And so I think it's time to set this world on fire. Or at least a small piece of it. We don't want to get the whole one, especially where my mattress is. I don't like sleeping in fire. Let's assemble the team and travel to the coordinates that Alice provided to find a backdoor access point to shut down the Apex AI. We're going to bring the crew as usual, although this time I'm a little bit tempted to bring Dante instead of Glory. Dante can't heal anybody though, unfortunately. I wish that it kept us with that 5th person. I liked having a 5-man team. And so let's confirm. And let's hit this thing hard. Bringing Dante along is an interesting idea because we don't have a whole lot of AoE right now aside from hand grenades and whatnot. However, I thought it was going to give me that 5th slot, so I'm desperately missing my 5th slot. There's nobody that I want to drop right now to bring him along, even though he's really good. Apex, an artificial intelligence designed for Matrix warfare. The thought of it sends a chill down your spine. For years, the shadows have been ripe with rumors of true AI. Names like Mirage and Psychotrope have fueled conspiracy boards on Shadowland BBS since 2029. Most savvy Shadowrunners dismiss these stories as bunk, but from what Alice has told you, at least one of the stories is real. Apex is waiting for you somewhere down in the basement of an old abandoned Seder Krupp lab. Unfortunately, you're going to have to wade through a lot of gang territory to get there. Let's go ahead and kit everybody up. So how is her throwing skill? I see she has grenades. Let's give her a better Bumona kit. Oh, never mind. We can't equip people. I don't like that I can't. I want to remove some of your gear. Well, since I can't do that, let's go ahead and take another concussion grenade. I wish we could get rid of that phosphorus grenade. That phosphorus grenade is terrible, and there's no excuse for it. Why do 14 damage now to get 20 later when we can just get 20 damage now? Oh, it does 6 for 2 rounds, so you get 26, but I think that leaves me with Blitz. And with Blitz, I think what I'll do is we will give him a Bumona and one of the better med kits, I guess. And that'll be that. God, they got like roadblocks and stuff set up. It is no funsies on this side of the hood right now. I would prefer to be in cover when this whole thing kicks off. A huge orc in ragged combat fatigue steps forward to greet you. He walks with the swollen bravado of a man who's used to getting what he wants. One of his meaty arms jerks up, hand held up right in the universal sign for stop. The other clutches a bulky assault rifle. The orc inspects you. His body language is decidedly unfriendly. You don't look like Mandificker. You're not one of us, and I'm guessing you ain't here for the hub either, so tell me, who are you and what's your interest in this building? I need to get into the building. It's important. Oh, it's important, you say? He makes a sweeping gesture in the direction of the building behind him. The other assorted toughs behind him smile. Well, by all means, go ahead on in then. You're being sarcastic. Ha, you're a sharp one. He smiles at you, revealing a mouth filled with jagged teeth. This building's under arbiter protection. We can't just let you waltz in and shoot up the place. I'm not planning on shooting anything, not unless I have to. Yeah, well, I can't exactly take that at face value. Look, it'd be better for everyone if you just turned back. We don't want to fight you, and we can't risk letting an unknown player into this. He pauses for a moment to search for the right word. Situation right now. Maybe I could help you with your situation. Well, that puts a different spin on things. He pauses for a moment to consider. You look like you can handle yourself. We could probably use you if you'd be willing to help. There'd even be some money in it for you. But if not, the rifle in his hand shifts position slightly. That's a different conversation. And what exactly do you want us to do? Iger's tone is neutral, her posture relaxed, but one of her hands casually comes to rest on the butt of her shotgun. Ulrich doesn't seem to notice. We're having some problems with the local mage gang, the Magnifiekers. The orc turns his head and spits. They attacked us without warning and took up our building and kicked us onto the street. Me and my boys were the rightful protectors of this block, but the assholes, they screwed us and they've got the building buttoned up pretty tight. We can't get in there to make things right, but maybe you can. If you could enter the building and do some damage to those Drek-eating Magnifiekers, the Arbiters would be willing to pay you. 200 new yen per kill. You could bring me back their amulets and then you'd get paid. How's that sound? Iger raises an eyebrow. Your call, fearless leader. You know the timetable we're working on. 200 new yen per head ain't bad, but from where I'm standing it looks like you need my help, and that tells me you could do better. 250 per head, but that's my final offer. Works for me. Good. Yeah, I think that this'll work. Iger gives you a small nod. Her hand falls away from the stock of her shotgun. You need anything else, or are you ready to go crack some skulls? I want to know who I'm working for. I'm Ulrich, the leader of the Berlin chapter of the Arbiters. We're a polyclub, small but growing. We serve the people of the working class and protect them from the parasites that would exploit them. So you're not a fan of the F-state then? Anarchy is not the solution to the people's problems. Do what thou wilt is a policy that rewards only the powerful. The working class will get trampled. A strong, people-centered communist movement is the only thing that will protect the interests of the common man. Give us a few years and that's exactly what we're gonna be. Tell me about the Magnifiekers. Or the Magnifiekers and the Magnifuckers, or whatever you want to call them. A gang of parasites. They think their magical talents will make them better than everyone else. Because of that, they feel entitled to take whatever they want. Up until recently, they've been content with pulling pranks and stealing purses. Childish dreck, but they were basically harmless. Then their new leader took over. He calls himself Trithimus, but from what I remember, he was just a skinny little prick named Yuri. He lets out a derisive snort. I should have kept a better eye on him, I guess. Should have stomped him flat when he started putting on airs. Would have saved everybody a heap of troubles. Trithimus took over the Magnifiekers and militarized them and convinced them that they could take us. And thanks to the element of surprise, they actually managed to do it. The orc folds his arms across his burly chest. Any day now, we're going to show him exactly how bad an idea that was, and I think I'll start by breaking Yuri's neck. You look pretty dug in out here. How long do you intend to man the trenches? We'll be out here as long as it takes. We'll be taking our building back one way or another. For over 3 years we protected that place. We held it for the people to do with as they pleased. Kept it safe from parasites and exploiters. Everything was cool until those Drexel Magnifiekers sucker punched us. No negotiation, no warning. They just turned us on out of the blue. Brought a couple dozen spirits down on our heads. I don't even think we knew that we were under attack until the water in my bathtub snaked up and tried to drown me. Most of us got out alive, but we've been stuck here ever since. Just give us some time, though. We'll take the building back, and we'll starve them out if we have to. And when we do, those scrawny bastards are gonna pay. Anything I should know about the building before I head inside? You'll probably see some burnouts floating around the ground floor. They're all there for the hub. It's like some kind of church or something. A guy called Parson runs it. Between you and me, they're all batshit crazy. Not dangerous, just nuts. Why'd you keep them around at all, then? Because a lot of them are rich. They paid a dreckload in rent, and we redistributed the wealth to the common man. Let me guess, you define yourselves as the common man. You see a tie around my neck, pal? Do I look like a corporate stooge to you? We're the friends of the people, and we are the people. Don't you dare question it. One more thing. I need to get into the basement. Anything you could do that'd help me out? Basement? What could you possibly want to go down there for? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. You'd be surprised what I'll believe. Try. Alright, I need to stop a killer AI so that I can rescue an old scientist from a ghost dragon. The future of Berlin could be at stake. Yeah, you're right. I don't believe you. Either you're lying or you're crazy. But crazy has its uses, so... Alright, I'll get you into the basement, but it'll cost you. You're charging us? Seriously? This isn't even your building anymore. You got the wrong idea. I don't need Nuyen, friend. What I need is Trithimus' head on a fucking platter. Problem is, he's holed up somewhere in the building, and we don't know where. Best guess, he's hiding somewhere upstairs in a room with no exterior windows. Somewhere, probably someplace close, he stashed the power coupling for the elevator. He pulled it to keep us from getting access to the guns we stashed in the basement. So, you find and kill Trithimus, grab the coupling out of his apartment, and bring me that stupid amulet he's always wearing so I'll know he's dead. He cracks a grin. Then I give you the control tip that I pulled when we started to fall back. Slot them into both the back into the elevator, and I'll take you straight to the basement. Well, alright, I'll see what I can do. Good. Just remember, no amulet, no basement. Just go on through and I'll show that little prick what it means to screw with the arbiters. I guarantee you the guy that's going to be up in the top floor is going to be like a super nice guy or something. He's going to be like, hey guys, who wants a Capri Sun? Let's go ahead and have a drink together, you guys. Anybody want some Anybody want some Pixie Sticks? I got Pixie Sticks. Yay! And Big League Chew, the greatest gum ever that runs out of flavor in 3 seconds. Let's talk to Parson and see what's going on here. The attendant behind the counter is an uncommonly fine-featured dwarf with a beatific smile. A yellow ID tag pinned to his chest announces his name in large, blocky letters, Parson. He nods at you and raises a hand in greeting. Welcome to the hub, brother. Are you here to share in the splendor of the communion? If so, I can show you to an empty terminal. I might be interested. Tell me more. Communion is a spiritual experience, friend, available to all for a small donation. He gestures at the banks of terminals lining the walls. The hub acts as the core of the communion. Those who jack into it are in turn linked to one another, daisy-chained together at the brainstem. Race, gender, social class, all of the artificial barriers to empathy that we've constructed as a culture. Communion strips them all away. It is a monument to the great truth that so many of us deny, that we are all the same at the core. Imagine it, friend, dozens of individual minds all tied together into a single, cohesive whole, sharing in a collective subconscious connected through the hub. Parsons raises his hands in supplication. Join with us and feel your limitations fall away. You and your congregation need to stop. There's a killer AI on the loose in this building. The dwarf's benevolent smile does not falter. You are quite mistaken. The hub is a place of peace. We are in no danger here. Can you tell me anything about the building? Beyond the hub, there isn't much to speak of. There's a small shop down the hall if you're hungry or in need of basic supplies. He shrugs and offers you an apologetic smile. That's about it, I'm afraid. What about the upper levels? There are floors above us, of course, but you're unlikely to find anything of value up there. Just the domiciles of the faithful and the faithful and the magnificers who have taken charge of the building. I would steer clear of them if I were you. I need to get down into the basement. Ah, that would be difficult. The stairway leading down to the basement sublevels has been blocked and the elevator has been sabotaged. It stopped working about the same time that the arbiters were driven from the building. One of the gang leaders is probably your best bet. Ulrich is right out front. I suppose that you could try your luck with him, or if you'd be willing to do me a favor, I could tell you how to find Trithimus' hideout. The choice is yours. What favor? A pair of squatters on the second floor ripped the guts out of one of my terminals. They've taken the data jack signal converter, and the terminal will be out of commission until I get it back. A single damaged terminal may not sound like much, but trust me, the entire experience of communion has been diminished by this act of vandalism. I believe that I know the squatters responsible. Their leader's name is Janet. She's a decker of some skill. I don't know what she has planned for my parts, but I do know that the situation will not stand. I cannot allow another terminal to be damaged. You can never let somebody slide that has a plan for your parts. And so you want us to deal with them for you? Yes, but not with violence. I want you to talk with them and convince them to bring me back the components. Do this and I'll tell you how to get to Trithimus. Deal? Sounds straightforward enough. Excellent, it's a deal then. Come back anytime. Let's have a look around here and see if there's anybody to be blasted. Got a bunch of people in a stupor over here. I don't know how this differs from... Yeah, I don't know how this differs from chipheads or anything else, but it appears as though they're pretty much doing the same thing that chipheads do, jacking into alternate realities and just zoning out for weeks at a time. Suppose we can talk to the guy at the store and see what's up there. It never hurts to accumulate a little bit too much information. The man behind the counter looks tired. His lids are heavy and his eyes are bloodshot. Welcome to Carl's General Store. What can I do for you? I need some info. He rubs his eyes and does his best to shake himself awake. Yeah, alright, what do you want to know? What's the layout of this place like? He pauses for a moment, gathering his thoughts. When the words come, they're slow as molasses. Well, you're on the first floor. That's the hub and my shop. The second floor has mostly been converted into makeshift apartments for people to live in. A gang squats up there, the Magnifikers, dangerous people. I'd probably stay away from them. The third floor is mostly housing too. Lots of Parsons Communion crazies live up there. The Magnifikers have a squad up there as well. He leans in and lowers his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. I'm pretty sure that their main crib is up there too. Don't know exactly where. What do you know about the Magnifikers? Well, they don't care about much aside from their own magic. Whole world's one big magical pitching contest to them, always trying to summon a bigger and better spirit. Dangerous stuff, man. Must be tough having to live down here with that going on over your head. It ain't easy. They charge less in protection than the Arbiters did, but they don't care about keeping anything even approaching order. They just hide out in their clubhouse, get high, and summon spirits to terrorize and kill people on the third floor. He shakes his head, poor bastards. What do you know about the Arbiters? Bunch of tough guys. They took a big cut of my sales and protection money, all in the name of the working class. Funny, last time I checked, I was one of the working class. In fact, I'm the only one who's working in this whole damn building. He spreads his arms, a hapless look on his face, but at least they kept some form of law. Mugging and assaults were rare, and they didn't let murderous spirits run loose on the upper floors. So, you know, you take the good with the bad. That's all the information that I needed to know. I want to see your inventory. What do you have? Medkits? A bunch of cram. Well, I guess we'll start making our way around then. The elevator appears to be offline. The control panel's LCD screen is unlit and its metal casing is badly dented. For the last blitz to look at it, your deckler easily pries the metal casing away from the wall, exposing a mess of wires and circuitry. After a quick inspection, it becomes clear that this elevator is wired to operate around a control chip. The chip is missing, and it looks as though a power coupling has been yanked alongside it. Without these components, there's no way for the elevator to function. Let's go to the second floor. And we've got anarchist symbols. We've got a giant pile of what I can only assume is poo. That's the communal bathroom. And we've got another stairwell, one going down, one going up. Let's be careful as we peruse this location for any loot that we can find. I'm going to try and get cat-a-corner to the doors before I open them, but sometimes it's just not possible. Oh, battle time. Oh, good. Target practice. Ow, bitch. That hurt. 22 damage. Really? That's how we're going to start this thing off? I mean, I'm just gonna heal it. I feel like I should probably put you on notice just being like, I'm just gonna heal it. So that we can be aware of how this whole situation's gonna play out. I want to try out Acid Bolt 4, but I don't want to leave myself exposed. So instead, well, I'm gonna have to leave myself exposed. And oh, that one costs even more AP. That's disappointing. Well, I guess we can have Iger step into the room for the 1 AP. And we'll just get her to the shooter. And that guy's labeled as a healer. And if there's one thing I know about MMOs, it's that you always kill the healer first. A bit of damage done right there, and I think it's probably a wise idea. Probably not the wisest idea, but I'm going to move my guy into cover, and then we'll blast this guy. We missed with a 95% chance. That's pretty bad. It's pretty awful. We'll use her adrenal pump. And I am a fan. Oh, I didn't bring Dietrich this time. I was going to use Dietrich's haste. Whatever, forgot about it. I think I'm going to focus on getting everybody else into strong cover, or at least some modicum of cover. Then next turn we'll make with all the other plans here. She can get up there and slash up the healer, and so I think I'm going to go for that. Give him somebody in the back lines to sort of terrify and sow discord. And datcord. Summons her up with 3 AP. Potential to do a lot of damage to a lot of people, but it decided to run around in circles before hitting me for 29. God. That is horrific. How are general gangbangers hitting for 29? That is entirely too much damage. I mean, you got people with endgame guns dealing like less than that. I never hit for 29 with anything that I have. That is brutal. So this guy is the one that I hate the most. This lady's out here healing herself, making my life miserable. And now she's dead. This guy over here is a bad idea. Well, we got a lot of guys running around. I think the next thing that I should probably do is ensure that the guy who made with the summoning goes down. So there's 28 damage. Another 6. Down he goes, and so there goes his summon. The Magnifiker Mage, I think I'm going to focus on him next, simply because he's locked in on my main character, and that makes me feel like a scaredy pants. And so we're going to melt him to death. I think he's going to die on his next turn anyway, so it might be a better idea just to go over here and mess with this guy. At least I can hope that he dies on his next turn. Which HP does he have? 2? Yeah, he should die on his next turn from the acid. If it doesn't, I'm going to cry giant crocodile tears. And just in case. Sure, why not? So now we've got to go around and pick up all the amulets that we want. And so let's get ourselves some neighborhood bling. One. 2. And I'm trying to get paid right now. I don't know if you guys knew that, but this sounded like a really lucrative opportunity for me. I mean, I don't know what we would need the money for, but I think we might need it. And then I'm going to break off the episode right here. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. I look forward to seeing you all in the shadows tomorrow, chummers, and take care out there, everybody. Hi-do.